my name is Thunda. Hi everyone. So today I'll be doing a makeup tutorial. First time doing a makeup tutorial on YouTube. Now this is a look that I will be creating today. So of course, if you want to see how I create this makeup look today, then go ahead and keep on watching. Just before you go, don't forget to hit that subscription button because of course we are all newbies and I would love if you guys could join the family. And if you do like how I do my makeup, then you can go ahead and leave a comment down below, of course, and I will be posting as often as I can. So of course, go ahead and click that post notification bell so you all can know whenever you're going to post a video. And of course, I would love if you all can leave a comment, let me know how you guys like the look, and if you'd like to see more of these videos, then of course you can let me know down below. And of course, last but not least, okay, I will be listing all the products that I use in the description box down below. Now, most of these products are products that I have a very long time ago. Most of the products, I'm not able to tell you what shade, maybe brand as well. But of course, I will definitely try my best to let you know the type of products that I do use to create this look. But once again, you all, stay tuned and you will definitely see how I create. Hey guys, so we're gonna start off with a clean base. So I actually just came out the shower, so you know that our face is all clean. So I'm going to go in with my Pond Light Moisturizer. So I'm going to use that to moisturize my face in all the areas that I normally get oily. And of course, I am a oily baby, so these are the steps that I do take to get a flawless non-oily makeup. Now I'm going to go in with my elf spoolie to use it to just to straighten my brows to get them into place where I want them to prep for that eyeliner that I'm going to use. Now I went in with my black opal setting powder in the shade light along with a normal brush to use to set the brows so we can go ahead and start lining them with our eyeliners. Now I went in with a eyeliner. It's not one of the popular ones, but it's a drugstore liner. It's called the KLeancolors. It's a lip liner and it's not a brown shade. It's actually a purple, but it's more on the darker purple side. So I'm only going to use it just to line the bottom and the top part of my brows, and then I'm going to go in with my regular Uncle brown pencil to fade in the brows. Now guys, you want to make sure that you're taking your time. If you're not a pro like myself, you want to make sure that you're taking your time to fill in those brows strokes by strokes so you can get them to your likings. Okay, now both brows are done. I'm going to go in with two different shades. Now I'm going to use my Elegant Pro Concealer in the shade Fawn to clean up the bottom portion of my brow, and then on the top I'm going to use the shade Almond to clean up the top portion of my brow. Now guys, whenever you're doing your brows, you want to make sure that you're taking your time, you focus, because one little mess up and you're gonna have to start all over again. So I am just doing it stroke by stroke, as you all can see, to clean up them brows to perfection. Okay, as I said, I am not a pro, but once you love it, then of course it will give you back love as well. Okay, so I'm just taking my time, clean up the brows, as I said, to get them to my liking. As I said, I'm not a pro, but this is how I do my eyebrows. Okay, now I'm going in with a regular fluffy brush just to clean up them brows. So we're going to go in a tapping motion. We're not gonna swipe, we're not gonna drag, we're gonna pat that concealer into the skin, because we're actually gonna prep our eyelids as well as a base for our eyeshadow. Okay, so as you're seeing now, what I'm doing is taking the Elegant Pro concealer in the shade fawn, in the shade Almond, sorry, as I said, and that's what I use to clean up my brows. Now, as you all can see, I am just taking my time, step by step, looking in that mirror to make sure that you are actually following the natural shape of your brow, so that you can get it to, as I said, to your liking. Okay, so our brows are all done. I'm going to move back in with my Elegant Pro concealer in the shade fawn, and I'm going to use that to put all over my lids, so we can prep for our eyeshadow. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead with the same brush to set the lids with the same powder, sorry. And once again, it's my black opal powder, and it's in the shade light, or number 2. And most of the product that I will be using, they're all drugstore makeup, so you can get a black opal at any drugstore makeup. I am a Jamaican, so for all my Jamaican babies, you know exactly where you can go to get your black opal products. Okay, and all the other products that I will be using, like the Elegant Pro concealer. So what I did, I went in with the black opal and I used it to set my brows. So I use a brush and tap on my brows, so that whenever I'm out in the sun or whatever, what I do, if I do get oily, then my brows will not move, they will stay into place by me taking that step. Now I'm going to go in with my black Radiance True Complexion contour palette. I do have it in the shade medium dark. I will be taking my contour shade and I'm going to use that to put in the inner part of the eye, as you're seeing there. So I'm going to use this to create a look. I'm not sure what look I will be doing, but I'm just going with the flow. Okay, now I'm also using it to prep my nose, the inner part of my nose, for my contour as well. Later on in the video you'll see that as well. So I'm still taking that same brown shade on the next side, sorry, I'm not sure what's going on with me, on the same side of my face, to, as you can see there, guys, while I was filming this video, I'm actually on my veranda, and there was music playing outside. The vibe was there, so if you see me doing a little bit of jiggling, it's just that music. Okay, yeah. So what we're doing, guys, we're just blending, we're just tapping that product in, and we're just blending it until we reach our liking as well. Secondly, I will be taking a palette by the name of Lemtosh. I'm not sure if that's how it pronounced, or Lemtosh, something like that, baby. I got this from a regular beauty store. It's a Lemtosh bubble pop palette. I will be taking the shade, let me see here, I will be taking it in the shade Creamy Plum. I hope, yeah, I will be taking it in the shade Creamy Plum, sorry, and I'll be using that for the other part of the eye. Now I'm trying to do like a semi wing with that pink sheet there. If I'm not sure if that makes sense, I'm trying to do like a semi wing there. So we're gonna try to wing it out, carry it more into the center of the lid, and then we're gonna try to carry to the arch of her brow, and then out to the tail of her brow, if that makes sense. And I'm gonna do that on both sides. Now after I do that and I get them how I want them, I'm going to go in with another shade. This is a shade that I cannot pronounce, So forgive me for that one, okay? So I'm going to use that for the inner portion of the eye. So we have the brown shade there, and then we have the pink shade. So we're going to go in with that blue on top. However, I did not get that shade as bright as how I wanted it to be, so I did went in with a different shade, and this is in the shade it looks like the shade My Favorite. Not sure if I'm getting it right, but it looks like I'm taking the shade My Favorite, and I am going to use it to put on top of that blue. Now the first blue I went in with is a shimmer, but as I said, I wasn't getting that shimmer to the liking that I wanted to get it to. So what I'm gonna do, I did went in with a glitter on top to kind of brighten it up a little bit. Okay, then after that, I'm just gonna pat those shade on and get them to my likings, as I said. And then now I'm going to go ahead and take my mascara. The mascara that I use is some black Radiance, and it's just a regular mascara. It doesn't really have a shade, but I guess it's black. So it's also another drugstore makeup product. So what I'm going to do after I use that to kind of prep my eyelashes for my eyelashes that I'm going to put on. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take that same black opal powder and the same brush I used to prep my brows and my eyelids. I'm going to use that to put all over the skin. Now normally I would have gone in with a primer, however I couldn't find my primer and I wasn't going anywhere. I was just filming the look for you guys, but normally I would use my MAC Milk of Magnesia because as I said, I'm an oily baby, so I would have used that as a primer, but seeing where I wasn't going anywhere, I refused just to put it on. Okay, I just went in with some powder and that works perfectly fine for me. Now I'm going to go in with my matte liquid eyeliner. It's waterproof and this is in the shade black. Now I'm not a pro when it comes on to eyeliner. Sometimes it does come out good and sometimes it really doesn't. Now all you want to do, you want to make sure you're keeping a steady hand and just take your time and just draw the line. Some persons like their wing to be bold, some persons like it to be neutral, some persons like it to be slimmer. Okay, now I'm just drawing these things on my eyes. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, just making some wing on the eyes because of course I love me some look. Even when I am not doing eyeshadow, I just put the powder in my lids with the concealer and I'm doing lashes. Sometimes I'll still go in with some wing and just the bare eyelashes. Okay, now as I said, you want to take your time and draw those lines. Okay, now these are lashes that I will be using, or some lash that I am trying to launch hopefully by the month of March. Okay, now the name of this lash that I will be using, okay, is Tie Me Up. Okay, this is the name of the lash that I will be using. I am trying my very best to launch these lashes as soon as possible. So if you're interested in buying my lashes, guys, you can let me know as well. Okay, so of course lashes are on, our face are prep. We're going to move on to our foundation. Now I will be using another drugstore foundation, another drugstore product. It's the Maybelline Superstay and I am in the shade 360. Okay, now I want you guys to trust the process. Okay, it might look a little bit off, but just trust the process. Now I am going to go in with my foundation brush, and these are just some regular brushes, guys. I don't have any name, I'm sorry, but these brushes works for me. It's a flat top brush, so I'm just going to go in with this brush and just put on my foundation. But first I went in with the same angle brush I used to do my brows. I went in and I used that to kind of spread the foundation all over my skin. And then I went in with my beauty blender. Now my beauty blender is damp. Not sure if this sponge has a name. I think it's just a regular sponge. It's just how you use it, and then how it works for you. So it's not any name brand. I got it from the beauty suppliers, but it could be an elf, I don't know, but it works for me. So after I use the brush, I go in with a beauty blender to kind of finish that flawless application for that foundation. Then I'm going to go in with the same two concealers that I used to clean up my brows, which is the Elegant Pro Concealer. I'm going to use the shade Almond at the outer portion with that same brush I used to clean up my concealer, and I will be using that on the bridge of my nose, my forehead, and on my chin, and on my above my lip there as well. And then I'm going to take the shade Fawn in the inner corner of my eyes, or the inner part of my eyes, as you all can see. So what I'm doing now, I'm just using that brush to spread the product all over the areas that I want to highlight. Now for some persons, they like a more brighter inner highlighter, but for me, I work with my mood or my feeling, or based on where I'm going, the event, whatever, then I'll determine if I want to go brighter or I want to go lighter. Okay, now as you can see, all the areas that I want to highlight, I'm definitely doing that right now. So after I apply those concealers, I normally let the inner portion of my eye dry down a bit. So after applying the fawn at the inner corner of my eye, as you're basically seeing that I'm doing now, then what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take that same damp beauty blender, and then I'm gonna use the part that I used when I was actually setting my foundation. I wouldn't say set, but I used to get my foundation flawless on my skin. I'm going to use that to clean the bottom portion on my chin. I'm going to use it on my forehead. Now guys, if you see me in the video, if you see me using something to kind of wipe my eye, is when I was doing that side of the eye, the brush went into my eye, so I have concealer all over my eyeballs and it hurts. My eyes started to fill with water. So what I had to do was that I had to get something to kind of, you know, help me to not stop what I'm doing, and to also to get the product out of my eye. I went in also with my Elegant Pro Concealer, and this is in the shade Mocha Ghana or something like that. It's a dark color that I'm going to use as my liquid contour. As you can see, all the areas that I normally contour, that's exactly where I put the product. Now I'm taking the sponge, as I did tell you guys, to blend out my chin area, my forehead, and also on my nose. And then the same exact brush I use to pat the product in under my eyebrows, it's the same brush I'm using to just tap that product into my skin under my eyes, as you all can see. Okay, so that's exactly what I am doing right now. Just tap. We're not swiping, no swiping. We're just tapping that product into our skin, so we can get a flawless, seamless application. Now, why I use that small brush is because I don't want my under eyes to crease, so I use that small brush there to use, how would I put it, just so that I can get into those areas that a bigger brush wouldn't be able to go into. Now I'm taking my contour brush. It's the regular contour brush, so that I can use it to carve out those areas that I want to contour. Now I go back and forth with my sponge and my foundation brush, as you guys can see, so that we can get rid of those harsh lines. As you can see, me looking there is for me to see how I am blending out these products to make sure that they are all flawless, and I'm also getting a seamless blend as well. So I'm just contouring my face to my liking. Some persons don't contour their face, however, or their forehead, but I do. I use the less product of foundation on my forehead. As you can see, whatever product was left on the brush, that's exactly what I use on my forehead. So I don't put any more products there, just use whatever is left on the brush. But I do go with contour product on my forehead, because of course your girl do got some forehead there, so we're just trying to, minimize that a little bit. Okay, now as you can see, our contour is all blended out, our highlighter is all blended out, so we're going to move to contouring our nose. Now, not many persons is good at this step. I'm not good at it either. I am just going with the flow. Okay, so I'm using that same dark shade I used to chisel my jawline and also my forehead. So we're taking that same Elegant Pro concealer in the shade Mahogany, something like that. We're using that dark shade to chisel that nose. Now I wanted to get a brighter undertone or a brighter highlight in regards to my under eye. So I went in with another Elegant Pro concealer, and this is in the shade Natural. So I did put a little there. I didn't let it sit. I just went in and blended out to get that under eye a little bit lighter, and I'm using that same brush that I used to blend out that before. I'm using the same brush to blend out my highlight, okay, my concealer, sorry. Now I'm going to go in with the sponge to kind of blend that in to get it more seamless and flawless. As you can see, I'm going all over the areas that I went in with all those liquid products. And as you can see, I did went in with my foundation brush as well. As I told you guys, I will be using those two products, the brush, sorry, not product, but the brush and the beauty blender, back and forth to make sure that I get those harsh lines out of the way. Okay, we don't want to see that. So I did went in with I'm not sure what you call this brush. It's a double brush. You have one area where you can use to apply foundation, and then you have a more smaller one at the bottom. I guess you can use it as a concealer brush, but I just use it to kind of spread the product all over my nose. And then I went in with a more smaller fluffy blush to kind of blend out my contour on my nose. And as you can see, I'm going back and forth with that beauty blender to make sure that it's not looking too harsh. Okay, then I went in with the shade Fawn on the bridge of my nose because I wanted it to be a bit more highlighted. So I went in back with that shade, and I'm going to go in with, I think it's the same brush to blend it out. Okay, and I'm going to move along with setting my face. I'm going to go in with the same black Opal in the shade Light, and I'm going to go in with my beauty blender. And what I'm going to do is just to set my forehead. So we're not going to bake, we're going to set. So what I'm doing is I'm using the beauty blender to press that product into my skin. Okay, So I'm just pressing the product into my skin, as you can see. So we're going in those areas that we have smile lines, and I'm going on the, not the bridge of my nose, but where you will define the line for your contour. So I'm just going in with the sponge there to set all the areas that I want to set in regards to the highlighted portion. Now I'm not going to bake, guys. It seems like I am baking, but I'm not baking. I'm going to take the bottom portion of the beauty blender and I'm going to use that to not dust but to push that product into my skin. As you see there, that's exactly what I'm doing there. I went in with the same brush I used to clean up my brows. I'm going in with that brush to go into the inner portion along and also alongside the bridge of my nose. As I said, we are trying to prevent the creases under the eyes. So this step that I'm taking is to prevent all of that. Okay, now I'm going to go in once again with my beauty blender to make sure that all those areas are set, no harsh lines. So as I said, you will be seeing me going back and forth with the beauty blender and my sponge. I did went in with the powder on my nose after I blended that out with the concealer. I did went in to set that nose with the same black opal. I'm going back into my Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palette in the shade Medium Dark, and I'm going to use that along with my contour brush just to set that contour that I did went in with the liquid from the Elegant Pro Concealer in the shade Mahogany or something like that. So we're going to set that with our contour powder. And as I said, guys, the brushes that I'm using, they really don't have any names. I just get these brushes from any beauty supply store. They works for me. Some persons use the Real Technique brushes. Some persons use the Murphy. Some persons use ColourPop or whatever the name wants to be. Well, for me, these brushes works for me just as any other brushes. So of course they have no names. Please don't crucify me, okay? Now I'm going to go in with a palette. It's called Any Lady. It has 30 colors eyeshadow. Now the name of this palette is Sweet Planet. So I did went in with the shade called Circle, and I'm going to use that to bronze, or it's not a blush color, it's more on the darker burgundy side. So I am not applying blush. I am just going in with like how other people or other YouTuber with brands. I don't have any bronzer palette, so this is what I am using to bronze my cheekbones. Okay, now as you can see, I'm going back in with the beauty blender just to set those under eyes. It's not the beauty blender, sorry, I went in with the sponge. So just like the sponge that you see those makeup artists use, with it shapes like a triangle, mine is more on the circle shape side. So I did went in that, I did use that, sorry, along with my Black Radiance press powder, and I used that to press that powder under my eyes, and then I went in with a little all over my face. Okay, now as you can see, I'm going back in with the True Complexion contour palette. I'm just going to brighten up that inner corner as well as to chisel the nose a little bit. Okay, now I did went in with my white eyeliner that I got from a beauty supply store. It's called Nabi or Nambi. It's a regular white eyeliner. I'm not seeing a shade. It looks like E06 and it's white. It's just any white pencil you can get. I think it should work. I love me some white eyeliner. So I did went in that on my waterline. And then what you're seeing me doing here right now is just taking some more of that shade I used on the Sweet Planet palette. And I'm taking the same shade Circle just to kind of brighten that bronzer a little bit. As I said, it's showing pink on camera, but it's not pink actually. It's one of those darker burgundies. I said I'm just using it to bronze my face. Okay, now I'm taking my MAC Prep+Prime fix spray, and I'm using this. It's a finishing mist, and I'm using this to set my face. And then I'm just kind of finding my face a little bit to set that. I will be going back in with my first pencil that I used to draw my eyebrows. I'm going to use that just to fill in the brows a little bit. And I will be going in back with my sponge as well, just to set that liquid on my face. I'm just going to use that all over my face to press that product in. As you're seeing now what I'm doing, I'm just taking that brown anchor pencil. Yes, I'm using that brown anchor pencil to shade in that portion of the brow, because sometimes you use the products, especially the product you use to bake or to set, sometimes it kind of fade the eyebrow a little bit. So I just went in just to kind of seal the deal right there. I'm going in back with my Black Radiance mascara just to put some of that on my lower lash line to kind of make it pop a little bit. So that's exactly what I'm doing there. Now guys, whenever you're doing this step, you want to make sure that you're taking your time, because it can mess up, and then you don't want that to happen, because of course you will definitely have to go back in with maybe your concealer brush or something, and you don't want that. Okay, so that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So I'm just taking it step by step, as slowly as I can, just to get it to my likings. So as I said guys, you want to take your time and do this part. Okay, take your time. I am not a pro, not sure if you are, but I'm just taking my time to make sure that this step is done without messing up that flawless beat that we're trying to achieve here. Okay, now I'm gonna take just my shirt that I used to try to clean the product out of my eyes, the concealer that went into my eyes. So I'm using that same shirt there just to wipe off my lip. So what I'm going to use to line my lip, I'm going to go in with my, I bought 2 pencils from the beauty supply store. However, these pencils weren't working for me. The shade was not given, so I went in with my KleanColor lip liner in the shade, doesn't have any shade because I can't see it, rather, because it's so small, but the same one that I used to line out or to carve out, how you want to put it, my eyebrow before I fill it in, that's the same pencil I am going to go in with to line my lips. And I will be overlining my lips a little bit because that looks cute. I love to see it. So I will be using that to just shape out my lips. And then after that, I will be going in with my concealer as my lip base. Guys, I can tell you this is a perfect combo. You can use either one of your concealer along with your lip liner to create a flawless lip combo. I will be using the brush I use once again to clean up my brows. I'm going to go into that after I put on the concealer, just to kind of blend both the lip liner and the concealer together, so it can be, so you cannot see the difference that you did use a liner and something else. You want it all to look good together. So if you just watch, you will see now I will be taking, I think I went in with Natural. That's the LA Girl Pro Concealer. I went in with that shade because I love me some nude lips, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and blend it in. And then as I did say earlier, I will be using that brush to make it look more seamless. After I've done that, I'm going to go in with another I wouldn't say drugstore makeup. I just pick up this from a random store that sell basically every products that you can think of. It's a product by the name of Absolute, and it says long lasting lip gloss. I'm not seeing a shade, but the name on the package is Absolute. So we're going to use that as our lip gloss. And what you're seeing me doing there is, we're not perfect, okay? No one is perfect. So I'm just trying to clean up that lip liner right there. So it did went over a little bit too much. So I'm just using the same brush I used to clean up my eyebrows. I'm using to clean up the edges of my lip so that it looks like how it should look, okay? So as I said, I will be using the Absolute lip gloss. It has a shimmer look. It's not just a gloss by itself. So I'm going to use that all over my lip to get it more sexier, like tastier, if you all know what I mean. So, yeah. And then what I'm going to do, I like me some beauty spot. Okay, I have one naturally on the left side of my face, but I will be taking my matte liquid eyeliner, waterproof, and I'm going to use that. If you didn't already, I was saying, guys, I'm going to use that to create some beauty spots all over my face. And then I'm going to go in with my highlighter. This is my first highlighted and has been the only highlighter I have ever had. I am not too sure of the brand. I think it should be the Black Radiance. If it's that, I don't know, but I think it should be the Black Radiance. And this is in the shade 3515 or Ginger Snap. Yeah. So I'm going to use that and put that all over the areas that I want to highlight it, as you can see on the forehead, on my cheekbone, on my chin, on my nose, and on my that part there. I'm not sure what they called it. I think it's a cuticle or something like that. I don't know if I got it right. Or the cubic arrow, whatever they want to call it. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and put some there, and then I'm going to go in back with my beauty blender just to kind of blend that in a little bit so it doesn't look too loud or too harsh. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Also, guys, I do see some persons, not everyone, put highlighter on their face. Some persons just like the natural look. I do that sometimes, but it all depends on the occasion. Okay, so this is the final look, guys. I did went and dye my hair before this video. I am wearing the color platinum. If you guys want a video on how I dye my hair, of course I can do a video for you guys, but of course this is the finished look. What you all think about the video, let me know. If you like it, leave a comment down below. Let me know. If you want to see me do more videos like this, then of course your girl got you. Okay, so as I said, guys, this is the finished look. So yeah, pretty, right?